Live from DSN Studios. Welcome to the playoff edition of the Doug Less Report. I'm your host, Bobby Marabia. With, as usual, to my left, Max Sutton. A little different studio today.
A little different, maybe a little noisy. We hope you hear us well. 3 times the charm. For those of you that know what we're talking
We have to
about.
apologize, everybody, for the delayed broadcast this week. Our producer, Jimmy Malak, was detained by the authorities, and he was deported back to Syria. So his career in the YMSL is over now.
It sounds like that.
So unfortunately,
and they put his mouth on no volume. They said he's not allowed to talk.
No volume to talk, and hopefully his team follows suit with that.
We'll get to that. A big part of what we have to talk about today.
A lot of stuff going on, Max. What a week! Another series last week. The first round was 1-1. Came in talking about Game 3. Now the semis are 1-1.
Right. So we're gonna get into the final Game 3s of the first round. We'll just quickly recap them. I feel like I watched the game 10 times. Let's see. Game 1 we spoke about was Jeffrey Saka, the underdog Jeffrey Saka.
The 6th seed coming in.
6th seed going against AB Saka's fake news. Again, AB Saka picked this team to play, whether it was seeding, whether it was what looked like a light lineup or a lucky team just to be there. They did pick them. Jeffrey Saka and Maurice and the bunch split. Coming into this game, again, we're at one game decides it all. It's a crapshoot at this point. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding 2-1.
No, it was a very good game, and both teams. Actually, we got to talk. The Blue Jays were coming in without Eliezer. Started.
Oh, that's right.
Honeymoon. His wedding is gone for a month, and Bob Jamal was also
right. So that
the land of milk and honey. So he missed both of them, but very interesting pickup. Why don't we talk about that?
It's funny in a weird way. The loss of Eliezer may have helped Maurice's team because if Johnny's there, who are they going to put in right field? Now they had the luxury of taking the Johnny pick. Has to be someone taking 20 picks later. We know that, but they had the advantage and the luxury of taking an outfielder, and that's exactly what they did. They took savvy veteran, softball junkie, Ike Mavora, who's been hot at the end of the year, hitting the ball really well.
Especially against AB Saka.
Right, striking against AB. And at this point, Maurice is just looking to live another game. I shouldn't even say another day. It's another game. Because you win one game, you get to the next series.
Now, you talked about last week, they were now with Eliezer gone, they were forced to put Jimmy in short. But in the short term, he's not a bad
all.
He's got a great arm.
Great arm, plays a good short center field. It's funny you mentioned it did come back. We'll talk about it later in games. Having a different shortstop may have hurt them a little bit, but like you said, and Ike Mavora is a hitter.
Yeah.
On any given day, Ike could be a better hitter than John Eliezer too. Any given day. So fast forwarding, this game was 2-1 AB Saka's team. And we're talking about an AB Saka team with naturally AB on the mound, Bulldog AB on the mound, with a rock-solid infield. I'm talking about the players, not the field itself. Salim and Henry and Ralph Matute, with Jody LeBeau's really getting acclimated to first base, and David Rishti, super utility guy up the middle. All they needed was 6 outs to win it. And at that point, all hell broke loose. The base, there was a leadoff hit, Daniel Towell. Everybody gave him kudos. They went out on a whim.
That is leadoff, actually.
Yes. Maurice tried to lengthen his lineup. They took a chance. And I think looking at the numbers, they said Daniel's been hot of late. So they put him in the leadoff spot. And it paid dividend. And then it ended up being bases loaded, 1 out. And I did hear there was some infield miscues from some really good infielders. Had a tough inning. Again, it's softball. There's bounces, there's stuff. A little pebble here, a little funny bounce there, a little English on the ball.
Listen, you put the ball on the ground, anything's can happen.
That's what we always do. The old adage is hard and low or hit a line drive. You hit it up there, can't get a bad bounce unless you get someone misjudging it.
Now this was in the 6th inning, so
yes,
it's fairly late now.
Very late. 1 out, base loaded. Jeffrey and Maurice and the bunch, A.B. Cohen, I heard had a big day in general. They put up a 5 spot. Forget about putting up 3 runs and taking a 1-run lead. They put up a 5 spot to go up 5-2. So
Malak got a big hit in that episode. Is that the one,
he may have. I think he did.
Swung at the first pitch for the
Yes,
first time in his career.
that was something. Yes, since 1994
Right.
was the last time he swung the first pitch, and maybe he'll do it more often. It did work. He had a nice shot. They went up 5-2, and just the rest of the game was sort of ho-hum. I know Fake News scored another run,
Right.
make it 5-3, and then they fizzled away. Jeffrey did shut them down. Celebratory Jeffrey at that point, moving on to the semifinals.
Yeah.
Very unexpected.
Now they already knew. Cyclones announced that if the Blue Jays won their game 3, they were going to pick them
Right.
next round.
So they sort of knew who they were going against.
Right.
Shooting to the other field,
Shooting over to Fireman's East.
another great battle.
This was a great intense matchup.
I may say, much better. There's no problems on this field between the teams. We used to make fun and make some jokes. There was hard feelings. This was just a great game of baseball to watch.
Right.
It's tight. It's frustrating. There's, of course, heated, but it was just good baseball. And this
Yeah, they had
BBB.
2 great games last week.
Right.
Two great games. 1-1, and ShamWow was fortunate the week before they were down 4-0, and rebounded to win. They almost got swept. So now they're coming in fairly confident. Now, Big Ball Brand came in very short-handed as well.
Loss of a big bat.
And not only that, played great short center. Spie
Correct.
Goldberg,
That's right.
also in the land of milk and honey. With
That's right. We have a lot of Israel visiting going on this year. It's been great.
And Jigga was also
Beautiful, that's right.
So now the whole right side of the infield was, except for Jackie Haber.
Jackie Haber has a lot of ground to
Right.
cover. He always does well, but he's got a lot of ground to cover, more than usual. Albert Levy's playing up the middle. We call him Little Albert Levy. He's got good hands.
But no loss at first. They had,
And yeah, A.B. Salem maybe earned a spot there full time
usually
now.
this time of year he's doing Hatikva for the World Series, but he's
Right. It's coming through, and guess what? Not just in the field. We'll get to the game, and he's swinging a nice bat as well.
So before we even had a chance to sit down and
Grab
enjoy
our
the,
Gatorade
grab
from
our
RBI
Gatorade,
or whatever.
It was 3-0 right off the bat in the Big Ball Brand.
Wow. So now they went from, well, it looked like they were in the same situation last week, up 4-0,
Right.
thinking they're going to clinch. ShamWow's a never say die team, and this loaded with veterans. But one of the veterans we have to give the biggest shout out to, talking to everybody in the ShamWow organization and everybody watching, the guy who came to play over the last 3 weeks the most on the ShamWow, and he has gotten criticized, having a tough time hitting, maybe moving in a trade. David Parker, boy, did he come to play.
Yeah, he was very hot in the series, not only offensively, where he was driving the ball, but really defensively. He was all over the place.
He's running, he's hustling, chasing after foul balls. Countless times, remember him doing that. Last week, he got the big hit to get runners on base and tie it up. This week, down 3-0, he hit a major extra base hit to score 2 runs.
Right.
So kudos to David, and not lucky hits. We're talking about ropes.
Yeah, Parker
Real
was really
shots.
struggling earlier in the year, and he was like you said, the trade might have had something to do with it. A lot of pressure his way.
Yeah, his team was
They picked
5-1,
him up in a 5-1,
and then they started going.
a very popular figure was traded, Jake. So he had a lot of pressure coming into a new organization.
I feel like these last 3 weeks,
Yeah, he
David
was
Parker,
coming into the zone.
he's not a young guy. We know he's young in age, but he's 27, 28.
He's a veteran.
But he's a veteran. But I do feel like he may have taken another level up in those last 3 weeks. Feeling no pressure,
Yeah.
coming to the plate, really tearing the cover off the ball when he has to.
So now he scratched out to make it 3-2, then they eventually tied it at 3. And then they really got excited in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, first and third, right?
It was getting a little testy now. The umpires were getting a little,
It was hot out.
Yeah,
It was hot.
the fuse was getting a little short. So now it was first and third with 1 out. No, it was
First and third, 1 out. Michael Savon Solomon at the plate.
This is the bottom 6th.
Yeah,
First and third, 1 out. Savon is up, and listen, Savon, one of the top clutch hitters in the league.
He's money, and he's got pop.
For 25 years. so the baddies had a major decision to make.
Sabon's in a situation where he doesn't really have to get a hit.
Yeah.
Just a long fly ball is the potential winning run, go-ahead run at the time. And in a similar situation 2 weeks before this, Michael Sabon, against the same team, came up with bases loaded, 1 out, and he ripped the ball to the outfield and won the game. So I think they may have had shades of this, and they did. Shocking. I don't know. The guy on deck is money in the bank too. He's a great player.
Probably, like we mentioned before, one of the more consistent ShamWow players this whole year. A lot of guys were struggling offensively in that lineup, but he was pretty much doing his line drives.
David Brackett.
So they loaded up the base Brackett. Gutsy move. The baddies they're not afraid to take chances.
Well, at this point, I think they looked at it. There's 1 out, 2 runs score. It's going to be that much harder. Yeah. Let's go for the gold. Let's not give up anything.
Right.
That's what they tried.
So Brackett does what he does best and just rips, a fly ball up the middle to center field. Probably got a little higher than what he wanted, but nonetheless.
So a 1-1 count, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was a fly ball.
I mean, he did hit it to the wrong guy because out of the 3 outfielders, I know they all had strong arms, but Jack Abadi's got a very strong arm.
So now you have Jack Abadi, one of the strongest arms in the league. Marsham at third, one of the best base runners in the history of the league.
He's 40 years old. He's not 25, but he's still
the way he runs.
Yes.
Very
low to the ground. He's aggressive. He slides. He dives. He's the guy.
And then you have Dr. Chucky Abadi behind the plate, one of the best defensive catchers around. So, everything was lined up for a great play. Yeah. So Jack got under it, set up, threw a strike home, and Chucky made. Jack's throw was great, but Chucky's play was even better because it was a short hop.
Yeah, you still have to short out the ball, turn, swipe the tag, make sure you're in the right position, which is something a lot of catchers don't do. And he did it. Very close play.
Very, very close.
Close enough not to argue either way.
Yeah. Although, of course, they argued.
Oh, that's the nature of the beast.
But Mike Russamano, great ball, called him out. And the replay showed that it could have gone either way. Maybe the guy's arm, but whatever it is, it was not.
The fact that you say it could go either way means it was quite all right. Cool. A big shout out to Russamano and Mr. Bill Hurst.
Yeah.
They called a great game, and they're going to get involved a little bit now. Mr. Hurst in the field.
He took control. I got to give him credit. They kept,
everything under wraps.
It was like not taking abuse, as much as they're used to. So now we go in. That was the bottom 6, top of the 7th.
Top 7 tie game now. The game's not over. They got a great play and they celebrated, but you still got to win and hold them again.
Now the momentum shifted a little bit now.
That's for sure.
So again, now we mentioned the bottom of the order was up.
This is where you got to tip your cap to A.B. Salem. Leading off the inning, this team has A.B. Salem and Dr. Abadi coming up. Get those 2 guys out. You navigate against the next 2 out, nobody on. Maybe you're thinking extra innings, bottom of the 7th, walk off, stuff like that. A.B. Salem ropes a hit. Not a lucky bloop hit. Roped the ball up the middle for a base hit. Big hit. Potential go-ahead run on first. He ended up getting to second base with 1 out. And Dr. Abadi hit a ground ball to the right side. Jack Jamal style. Moved the runner over, and it worked.
It's a new trend in the Wild.
Yes, it's been going down. I can name a lot of guys.
I attributed it actually to one person. It's a Dave Beef coming into the league.
A lot of people have been defensive swings.
Yes, it happened 4 or 5 times that we haven't had in 10 years.
Joe Cheever done it a couple of times. Yeah. Jack Abadi didn't want to really. It happens to get.
The rules committee's gonna have to look into.
Okay, it is right now the way the league is consistent. It's been going down, but they say it was a full swing. Runner on second, 1 out.
Runner over now.
Right. They got the runner to third. Not a great job to get him to third with 2 out. But what was more interesting, it became first and third, 2 out for Jack Abadi.
Yeah.
So now they're in an interesting spot. The team decided to have another meeting. I think Jaime and Morris had coffee behind the mound today. And they kept going back to talk to their pitcher, Ralph Tuna Sutton.
Yeah, I think the word timeout was used
many times. Right? So this was a big discussion, and this is where the umpires got a little bit perturbed. I think they felt we have 2 more games to play after this today. what in the world is going on? Make a call. And very vocally told him, what's your decision? Morris Shamma quickly decided, and he's the captain, let's walk Jacobati. It is pick your poison. Jacobati's a great ball player.
I was there. I don't think he really picked it so, but I think they made the decision not to walk him. And then he got emotional to our pitching. Then Morris says, walk him. And that's when I'm like, that's it.
Just walk him, put him on. So they didn't really have a decision to change again.
No.
Now, I will say, Ralph Tuna Sutton hated the idea.
Yeah.
He turned around and said, no, don't do it. Whether he didn't like the idea because he'd rather pitch to Jacobati or Mark Brown, or maybe he'd rather not pitch with not a base to give. Right now, there's no room for error
exactly.
now.
That's what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
It looks great. You get the forced any base.
It's
small
mixed.
ground that you have any base you know to. But again, on the pitcher, you're talking about the seventh inning of a
semifinal game.
It's a tremendous amount of.
And I'll tell you what, Mark Broad is one of the highest average hitters this year.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're really downgraded in the hitter.
At the bottom of the line.
Yeah, this is a real ball player up, maybe the top 2 hitters on the team.
Yeah.
So regardless, that is what they decided. It was a 3-1 count. Ralph Tuna fell behind too early, 2-0, and he ended up walking home the run. And that turned out to be the series-winning run. So, anyways, they went down easy after that. And great series. I know they're kicking themselves about it.
Well, ShamWow was devastated by the loss.
It's a frustrating loss.
Right, you can start with the what-ifs, but
a lot of what-ifs.
But really, I felt that team, they had a great year. But I think a lot of guys underachieved.
It's funny. Their defense was great. Yeah. Ralph Tuna's son, over the course of the season, pitched very well. We mentioned he's a battler. There's times he gets hit hard, and people say, oh, and if you lost the plate in this situation. But it's 2 years. Last year was in the World Series. This year is a game away from semifinals, and they didn't give up 10 runs.
And I was talking a very interesting point that we didn't bring up. The right field situation for ShamWow. I mean, they have 2 right fielders. Right?
Nathan Cowell.
They have a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Louis Franco, in his own right, is a very solid right fielder. But in the game,
they chose to go with Louis.
They went with Louis. Now, I don't know if Nathan's hamstring was acting up.
So over the course of the weeks, Nathan's hamstring has been sore.
Yeah.
So it could be they want to go with more athleticism. Nathan, when he was 100%,
was playing great right.
Oh, he was playing great. And when he was in, like you mentioned, Hall of Famer, he was a natural center fielder.
Right. But
nobody reads the ball better. I heard there was a big play.
I heard that he got it. It was in his glove. He dropped it. Louis 2 runs scored.
I hear that. Do you go with the veteran out there? This is a decision.
Nathan wouldn't have got close. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just saying. We don't know. But it was interesting that he wasn't there. I inquired about it with the captains. They told me he was a little. I guess the hamstring was a little injured. So that was
okay. That could be what it was. But it works out to see. The runs weren't easy to come by. So credit to Mikey Shalom. Credit to Ralph Tuna Sutton. Well played series. Again, I think ShamWow's disease all year was they just didn't score enough.
Right.
And I think that was the ongoing thing. They rarely put a lot of good hitters. They just didn't
nobody
score
was hot at the same time, so it was just they weren't putting big rallies together.
Better luck next year.
Yeah.
That's what you got to say. And Mikey Shalom with Jacobati and the bunch.
Yeah.
Move on. So the way we had it set up, let's go back. Well, we'll stay here.
Now the Cyclones chose, as you mentioned, Blue Jays, and so now you had NWO, the organization coming off a bye, and basically you knew you were going to take the winner of the ShamWow.
Right. So we were all by the field.
Right.
We started right away, and not to go into the games too much because there really wasn't much to talk about in the games aside from the fact that the pitchers did great, both Nathan Vitesh and Mikey. And game 1, they edged us out 2-1.
So we always talk in the past, the team that's coming off a victory in the series,
they have a little bit
usually is hot as coming off a bye.
Got
more often than not, you can steal that game.
So they scored 2 runs in the first inning.
Right.
A few infield miscues we had. Mark Broad got a nice hit. They went up 2-0. We scratched a run. Should they scratched? Albert Zolta clocked a home run, a solo shot. We had one other opportunity with a man on third and less than 2 outs. where we did not cash in. That hurt us. Credit to them. They played great defense, and Mikey pitched great. And that was it. They beat us 2-1. Good defensive game, both sides. And that was really it. Game 2, we started pretty quickly. We scored a run. I think it was in the 3rd inning. Eli Harari got to second base. And then Steven Shalou, my leadoff man, roped the double to bring him home. We didn't capitalize on a man on second, nobody out. There was a running miscue, and that was it. And that was the final score, 1-0. So again, great pitching and great defense all around on both sides. I couldn't be more excited to be out there on Sunday with my guys for Game 3.
And also, it's nice to see an appearance by NWO original draftee David Harari.
Yes, he was there. We wanted him to coach third base, but the umpires did not allow it.
It's dangerous.
Because it's dangerous. He can't really move. Yes, great to see David. Pleasure to play with his brother this year, Ellie, who played unbelievable at second base. They had a couple of web gems of plays. And he sounds a lot like David. So sometimes you close your eyes.
Replacement Victor Dweck has pretty solid.
Yes, he's playing left field. And we don't have Elliott Saka. So we like to welcome him back this year.
Well,
he's gonna.
Rumor has it he might make an appearance.
Yes, he's going to be back. I spoke to him today. Spoke to his doctor. Yes, he's going to play. I don't think he's going to be hitting. I mean, I don't think he's going to be fielding. I'm sorry. Apologize. But he should be in the lineup. So looking forward to having Elliott back. Very needed back in our lineup. You can tell from the scores.
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see if he goes full force or is a little tentative.
Right.
Maybe see
Be
how
careful.
that goes.
Maybe we'll slot him. We'll see.
But nonetheless, it's 1-1. Another
Great series.
All 4 series again going the distance.
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to Dr. Abadi for 2 things. First, the man caught 3 games. He's 63 years young, and the man caught 21 innings of softball. I hear he's still icing his legs. It's Thursday, and he has some magic potion he rubs on his knees every day. He won't give up the secret to the other elderly catchers, such as Stevie Corman and Louis Patesh. He's keeping it to himself, but God bless him. 3 games.
It's Gatorade, according to him.
It's Gatorade, okay. But unbelievable. Also, a shout out to Dr. Abadi. It's playoff time, and it gets tense. We had great games, and there was a point during Game 2 where there was a couple of 4-letter words being thrown out, maybe too loosely. We know what happens, and we try to stay away. Dr. Abadi got up and really honed the situation and made a decision and said, hello, guys, if I hear another word, I'm out of here. I don't know if he really said that because it was already his 18th inning catching, and he wanted to go home.
Well, he should have a barbecue that night also. Maybe
Right. Maybe.
turn the grill on.
Or really, he did shut everybody up, and we had great games. It was 2 respectful games that I enjoyed playing, and I think I could say on behalf of both sides, it was good games. Talking to both sides after the game, it was good baseball. Of course, in the middle of the game, 1-run games, it's frustrating. You scream, score more, come on, but 2 great games. And that was it. Game 3 should be fun.
So now let's shoot over to the other side where 4th of July came a little early.
Oh, my goodness.
Playground field.
We did invite Jerry Springer to the show, and
how ironic this was played on the playground field.
Yes.
It was rated R for all kids.
My goodness gracious. So, like I said, Jerry Springer couldn't make it. It's our 3rd time filming, and he wasn't coming 3 times straight. So we have the honor. We couldn't have him, but
Actually, I want to tell a joke that the umpire told me. He goes, I went to a boxing match and the softball game broke out.
oh my God. Oh boy. So you know what? On a serious note, before we get into these games, it's a great battle, and it's 2 good teams. We know last year there was an unforeseen situation. This team is not the same 2 teams at all. A couple of the same players.
It seems like I don't know.
It just feels that, right? Like we mentioned, Jeffrey Sack is on the mound, but there's nobody else on this team that was on the World Series winning team from last year. Not one.
Sack attack.
Unbelievable. Not one from Sack Attack, believe it or not. But on a serious note, we've been fielding calls all week. Bobby's phone has not stopped ringing from emails, texts, from guys that have been playing, guys on the committee, guys that have been getting calls to the committee.
Guys not even in the league.
Yes,
never played in the league.
Never played in the league. Unbelievable. I've been getting calls. I'm not on the committee. I love playing in the league. I've been getting calls from everybody. Unbelievable. And on a serious note, this is a league that's made for one thing and one thing only: beautiful fun. Great, unbelievable. Guys look forward to this league in February.
Right.
There's something that Bobby mentions. How often do you see an 18-year-old kid by a wedding or an engagement party talking to a 52-year-old man, engrossed in conversation, and it all makes sense? And what's the one thing that makes sense? It's softball. They're in the same league and they love it. From 1976, whether the team is Jaws and Dallas, to 2016-17, whether you make the Turtles great again, or Brooklyn Cyclones, or the Blue Jays, this is a family, unbelievable league that keeps going, and it just gets better and better. It's not phasing out, and it's clean fun. And to see stuff happen off the field, brought onto the field, is a shame, and something we can't see. We don't want to see it. We don't need to see it. It's atrocious. Four little words happen. We know that. We try to limit it. We're doing our best. What is it you said? Baby steps?
Yeah, but
Teeny baby steps.
we will say this. Part of the allure of the league is the incredible passion and intensity
Yes.
that the players bring to the game.
And we want that not to stop.
That's what makes the league what it is.
Great. Yeah, if it was just a beer league,
It's not people
It wouldn't
just
be that
showing
good.
up and they.
We
you
know
when
we wanna
somebody
win.
doesn't come. You know, for a month before the guy's
he's not coming. People,
Hello,
I have
don't not show up.
I have guys on my team changing their China trips because they don't want to miss.
I mean, there's stories about how people what they did to. You have guys switching the trips to Israel to come back in the morning.
That's right. Look at Zach Ashkenazi. He's driving 6 hours for regular season games from Massachusetts for 3 years. Guys really wear their heart on this league, and we love it.
It's 24/7, 365 by myself.
All that being said, there is a line in the sand that has to be drawn.
Right.
And when stuff outside the field, like I said, I've had my battles. I've had some great tournament battles with Jeffrey Saka in the league. There's years I beat him, he beat me. It's great. I love it. I'll sit next to him in shul with a big smile on my face. We'll talk about it, laugh about it, and it's a lot of fun. When it turns into a situation where you feel like if you see a guy in synagogue or you see a guy in the pizza store, you don't want to walk in now, or you don't want to talk to him, or his wife's there, that's a problem. And that cannot be the situation. It's a community league, and that's got to stop. There's 11 other guys on teams, and we're all a community, and we're all family. As a team, you're a family. We don't want it to work out into fireworks, as you mentioned, and that can't happen. I know it's not going to happen. This is an uncomfortable thing to bring up, and we took a big segment of the show, but I feel like it's needed, and it's got to stop. This is not coming from me. This is coming from the YMSL upper authority, and I guess I'm just
people outside the league
talking.
that
And
are
I'm
very
saying,
concerned about.
there's
a lot of. First of all, there's a lot of players
Family.
who can't bring their kids to the
Right,
game or refuse to bring their kids. To
once
the game.
playoff starts, there's a couple of things.
Yeah.
School's out, the weather's better, and people want to see playoff baseball. Knowing that week 3, when there's not many people there and it's a misty, cold day, people don't care.
Yeah.
There's grandmas there and brother-in-laws and nieces and nephews. You really got to be in check. People don't want to look at you in a bad light. And if you're giving people a chance to see you in a bad light, you could say, it's only baseball, it's on the field. People don't see that. So guys have to see themselves and
like
be
you said,
smart.
they're not leaving it on the field now. Certain guys.
That's a problem.
And that's where you really got to bring attention to it.
All that being said, let's get into the games. Game 1, A.B. Cohen was humming, and he had a 3-0 lead. They got off early. Lisa Carrier, Jackie Towell, Jamie Dweck, the top of their lineup that's been hitting all year. Sammy Towell, Joey Cohen, they've been coming through. If I missed the name, I'm sorry, DK, even the back end of the lineup. This is a complete team. They're the 1 seed for a reason.
Now, by the way, let's mention, Sonny was not there that day.
Yes.
He
had a bar mitzvah, Mabruk to Sonny.
But a very adequate replacement was Ruby Saka, who's
early in the year.
Outfielder.
Early in the year, he said, I want to play outfield. And we always say, you get your time. Look when he got his time. When it mattered the most, playoff baseball, right field, and he's good out there. He's going to get a starting spot.
Great catch, diving catch down the right field line. He's got a great arm.
He's a ball player.
And they put Elliot Towell
at short center.
He was filled in admirably also, so no loss over there.
Right. Sonny's bat's been great this year, but their team put up 3 with A.B. Cohen pitching great. It's all they needed.
Now, something unusual that we probably haven't seen in 25 years.
I don't remember. I think we had one a couple of years ago, but not in the
Maybe,
playoffs.
no.
Not in the playoffs.
So now
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded, and no outs, obviously, and Jeffrey Sack is in the plate.
Right, so now the team is shorthanded.
3-0 each score.
Yeah.
3-0. It's a sixth. Jeffrey had to get his at bats because they're playing with 10, I believe. Eli Madelon was in the slot, but they chose to give Jeffrey the at bats.
Jeffrey, in his career, is known as a deadpool hitter, but he can crush the ball down the
He has
left
some
field line.
sneaky
He
spot.
can really, sometimes he thinks it in there, dunks it in there.
Right, he has those dunks over short. If you play him too shallow, he might pull it over, like you said. 3-2 count.
Joey Cohen was guarding the line, knowing that
Yes.
he's a deadpool hitter.
Joey Cohen, who's been a phenomenal sophomore player. If people get the sophomore jinx, no, he only elevated. He got better. But playing third, I heard Jeffrey smoked it with a 1 or 2 hopper. He gloved it really well on his backhand side, Joey. Conflicting reports. The right thing to do is touch the runner, touch the base, throw to first, triple play. If that's not what happened, they got the triple play anyway. Because if he touched the bag, then touched the runner through to first, A.B. Dweck was confused.
Yeah.
We've been talking about sometimes A.B. Dweck does some interesting running blunders, but this was a situation where I think almost anybody would have done what he did. He just ran, and he went. And Daniel Towell was on deck, the leadoff hitter. They ran, they got him in a rundown. So whether it was a triple play before the tag out or not, bases loaded, nobody out in a 3-0 game. Top of the lineup coming up, triple play. That's great.
Yeah.
That's just real. I'm sure they all ran off the field excited and pumped, and forget about it. It's great.
Yeah, so they held on to the victory 3-0. AB was really at the top of this game, game one.
Curveball going for strikes. So
Now,
now, man, Ike Mabora did start today. I think he was 0-4
Yeah.
the first 2 games. Not bringing that up for anything bad. I'm bringing it up. Game 2 didn't start as much better either, right?
Not at all. They were down rather quickly, 4-0.
4-0. The Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. Cyclones up 4-0. Fairly early, first, second inning.
Right. So, and this is a never say never team. They're not dying.
Yeah.
They're not going to quit. So I heard Maurice got a big hit. They made it 4-2. But the Cyclones team doesn't quit either. They tacked on another 2 runs
6-2.
right away. 6-2. And then it was, just to fast forward because we don't want to bore you, 6-5, second and third, 2 out, Jimmy Malacha. It was an intentional walk. They walked him on 4 straight curveballs. Maurice Haber comes to the plate. Down 6-5 in the bottom of the 4th. Still relatively early. Before I give you that situation, there was bases loaded, 1 out for the Cyclones. Inning before that, they could have taken it away. Jamie Dweck smoked the ball. Jimmy Malach made a very nice catch at shortstop. Filling in, we say, at shortstop, but he made a nice play. Hard hit line drive at him, but he had to be there and make the play.
Up for the second out.
For the second out. Sammy Towell coming up, hitting well on the day. 3 for 3, I believe, up to that point with a walk. 3-2 pitch, hit a hard shot. Off the bat, the way the field looked, it looked like it was going to end up being a hit.
It might go. It looked like it would sneak through.
David Simon picked up the ball. Maurice had the presence of mind to get back to the bag, and they got Sammy in time.
But Maurice actually initially went for the ball.
For it, right. That's why it looked
Someone got
confusing.
it. Now, they were lucky with Sammy Town, not very fleet-of-footed, 852 now. So
they ended up getting him.
They got out of the inning.
That was big.
It
was 6-2. Right, could have buried them. And now they made it 6-5. Now let's fast forward back. Maurice Haber is up on a 3-2 count. Great count, very close pitches. He had a line drive to right center field. Landed in for a base hit, 2-run score. It was a well-hit ball. You get a hit in the books. Question is, the center fielder is Jackie Towell, and he's the elite, one of the elite center fielders in the league. A couple people asked him on the sideline, do you think maybe he could have laid out and made a play on that? He says no. Some people think maybe he should have. A player or 2 on his team said, I thought he was going to lay out. I'm not saying names, but if he lays out, maybe there was a guy behind him, maybe not. He played it safe.
Yeah.
Either way, they took the lead. A.B. Dweck went on, did a high bloop double.
Yeah, I was more surprised that one fell
one.
through than the other hit. But
I did think that one would get caught. Ruby Saka and Jackie Towell were right between it. Maybe John Elias is there. He makes that play. Maybe not. I don't know. It was a tough play. Gets a hit also in the book. But
Elias was on the other team.
I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize. So Jamie went out with Ruby.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe Eliezer, if he would have made that play.
oh well. Either way, the ball landed, and that gave him another run or two. So then A.B. Cohen, who had a great day at the plate, A.B.J. Cohen, smoking the ball. I think it was 8 for 10 on the day.
Right.
He went on to sort of put the nail in the coffin and hit a 2-run homer. He had a missile to right field. By the time it got in, by the time Sonny got to it and threw it in, A.B. speeding fast anyway. Got around, they took a 10-6 lead, they went on to win.
Yeah.
So
Now,
two great games.
both series now 1-1. Another deciding game for this Sunday.
Blue Jays on elimination games come to play. So that's something to bear in mind here. Unbelievable.
So let's get the predictions now. You're obviously not going to make
On my team, no. I'm stepping aside.
But let's start. I'll start off since we're talking about the Blue Jays. Now they're going to have to return a bump this week, so they're so I guess they can move Ike McCord to short center.
Short center field, yeah. Here he's taking infield practice today and tomorrow, getting ready for ground balls.
So the lock will be back short. Jeffrey's going to come bring his A game.
Oh, you know he's coming. Nobody's thinking about game 2 of the day.
Yeah.
We know game 2 is World Series, and when it's there, but everybody's thinking it's 7 innings. Let's get to the World Series. So Jeffrey's coming to pitch.
But also the Cyclones, to me, the way I see it is the Cyclones have all the pressure in the world at this point.
They're the 1 seed.
They're the number 1 seed. Not really. The Blue Jays started at 1-8. Shouldn't even be here by most.
It's unbelievable.
Most accounts. So they're probably going to be a little looser now.
The Blue Jays have 4 wins in the regular season. If they somehow pull out a win, that would match their total regular season and postseason wins.
They got it in 4-10.
Yeah.
5-9.
Is it 5-9? I thought it was 4. I could be wrong.
They swept the last week, though. Maybe 5.
Either way.
I got it with the other team at 4. Al Davis
Okay, so they had 5. I apologize. Either way, what's the prediction? Should I give you mine first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm predicting Lee Zaccaria and the Brooklyn Cyclones to come out with the win. I know the pressure's on them, but the reason I give it to them is some familiar faces from last year on the same field. I think they're hungrier. Not to say anybody isn't hungry at this point. This is like 3 days of fasting. You want to win. But I think A.B. Cohen is really going to bring it.
Yeah.
And he's got a chip on his shoulder along with his team, who has his back. And they're all coming to play. I believe it's going to be a silent game. I don't mean silent. It's not going to be like a Charlie Chaplin movie. There's going to be a lot of screaming. But I think the 4 little words will be
well, we do have the cream of the crop as far as umpires goes. Big Bad Terry.
Oh, he's back. Don't mess with Terry. I've seen him.
I don't think I've seen an argument in 25 years.
I've seen him do 3 games in 200-degree weather, and he's still standing there with all his fervor. Yeah. So, Big Terry with Bill, I hear.
With Bill Hurst, Mo Shamma's friend.
That's right.
But I will say this, it's interesting. I'm also picking the Cyclones, but for 2 years in a row now, A.B. Cohen in a deciding game
to win
blew a big lead.
Yes, he had a 5-run lead.
This year, 4-0.
Very
so
true. Now,
that's something that you got to keep in the back of our minds.
Is he feeling the pressure of the YMSL?
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel he's going to bring his A game.
I think so.
Top of,
I really think he's coming to play. I think his team. There's a great defense behind him as well. I think they're going to pull it out. Would I be shocked if the Blue Jays win? I wouldn't be shocked, but I just see it's Cyclones' time to get to the World Series. It's the next step that they didn't get to last year. My series, it's all yours because I got nothing to say.
Well, I didn't do such a good job predicting this year.
Either did I.
Probably like, Francesco, you lost the tape, so we don't know. But I'm still sticking to my preseason World Series prediction, which I'm really excited. I'm still alive. Cyclones versus NWO. So now who I'm picking.
I hope you're right.
I think maybe is a little too much for the at this point for the big ball brand, and he's going to be the difference. But again, the way Mikey's been pitching, they can find a way to get it 1 or 2 runs early. Again, the pressure's going to switch, but I think NWO is going to get the victory, and I think we're going to see Cyclones and NWO in the World Series.
I do hope you're right.
It would be 2 classic.
That's all I can say, because naturally I do play for the NWO team. So I hope you're right. Expecting 2 fun games. Looking forward. Can't wait.
So the schedule, let's just quickly say we're going to obviously do both decided game 3s, followed by game 1 of the World Series.
Okay. We'll see which field we play on because
Yeah.
we've been hearing chirps. Both fields are being. The other Fireman Field East has been liked a lot lately. So we'll get there. Whatever. That's
Yeah.
future will bring us.
We've
Depending
got
who's
some
there.
standing room only games there,
Yeah.
in Hillel, and so a lot
right.
of exciting stuff going
Good
on there.
stuff.
So we look forward to seeing everybody out there. It's a holiday weekend, and
Happy
should be
holidays.
exciting.
Sunday morning, 9 o'clock. First pitch.
Let's keep the fireworks on the beach.
That's right. And let's play good, clean baseball. As they always say, let's play ball.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Thanks.
See you then.
Take care.
45 minutes.